Yes, finally it's here, ladies and gentlemen. We are merely days away from the most important fight this century. For f***'s sake, for crying out loud, you f***ing dickhead, for you prick, fucking you cunt, and f*** off you tuna. Bloody hell. Yes, so we all went bananas when we got the news, didn't we? I done it myself. I let loose on the missus. I said I knew it, baby. Never wanted the fight. It's bloody photoshopped, I tell you. He's a double liberty, that Fury. And she said, well, you fuck off. I don't even know who he is. I'm trying to watch Emmerdale, you bellend. Fair enough. And then the sparring footage came out and we all got Columbo on it, didn't we? We were trying to dissect it. How old's this footage? Bit grainy, innit? They filmed this using a fucking calculator. Double suspicious. But then lo and behold, Ariel, Hello and Nani put all our doubts to bed, gathering the troops for a mother's meeting, and yes, there it is, the infamous injury in all its glory. How did we not believe him, eh? I have no fucking idea. Anyway, thank heavens, we've got a new date, and not just that, because the double excellent turkey has thrown in a curveball as well. Anyone pulling out, bosh, 10 million off your payday. How'd you like them apples? He said, what an absolute legend. He even started shadowboxing at the end. He wants all the smoke, give me the winner, he said, blinding stuff. And I don't know about you, but I get the feeling that this fight actually will happen, purely because this man is pulling all the strings. We may have to wait a bit longer, but you know it's going to be worth it. And fingers crossed, hopefully we get Big John and Frotchy on the undercard. Bloody hell, sign me up for that one, bruv.
Do you think I'll tell him to his face, you're a bum, Carl Frotch, and keep my son's name at your mouth, because you ain't good enough to kiss his fucking ass.
Yes, we love it, don't we? A little bit of Big John rage. And I'll tell you what, I've got Big John winning this one on points. Frotchy struggled with Kevin McAllister and he struggled with Tintin. I'm fucking telling you, Big John all day. Anyway, so first things first, we can't beat about the fuzzy bush. He does look in blinding shape, old Fury. He's clearly put down the wagon wheels and he's been on the old treadmill. But regardless of this, even though he looks very ready, I'm sure we can all agree, based on the Ngannou performance, another few months probably will be very beneficial to him as well. Which incidentally is why many people still think this situation is a hefty load of fucking bollocks. But you know, that's because of his controversial track record, innit? And yeah, who knows whether it was just rumours and all that, but there was a lot of noise coming from Camp Fury. Things like Big John moaning about Sugar Hill, Opatire allegedly beating him up. You can see how people have put two and two together, so yeah, I don't know. End of the day though, he does love a pound note, old Tyson, and I personally just can't see him letting this amount of money go out the window. We shall see. But anyway, even with the extra preparation, he still faces some monumental problems, and that's what we're here to talk about now. So strap in, let's get into it. So let's break it down then. Fury of course holds a clear advantages in stature, a whopping 7 inches of reach, 6 inches in height, apparently, even more when he's on fucking tiptoes. Look at this, bloody hell, every picture, innit? What's he been doing, learning to fucking pirouette? Anyway, and yes, based off the pair's last fights, Fury carries over 50 pounds in extra weight. Now, judging by the latest picture, he clearly looks a lot lighter than usual, but he's still, of course, much bigger than Oleksandr. And bigger is not always better. That's what I've told my missus all these years, but she's always said, yeah, whatever, Pee-wee, that's fucking bollocks. So yes, you may already know what I'm gonna say, but let's rewind to that turbulent night in New York for the Gypsy King against Steve Cunningham, who interestingly was the same 6'3" as Usyk, though even lighter at 210 pounds. Now, Stevie was a very good fighter, and okay, Fury was not as experienced as he is now, but he still had a lot of difficulties in this fight, as he even admitted himself.
Cunningham was the hardest fight I ever did have in my whole career, amateur or professional. The reason being, he was very slippery. He was light on his feet, he was weighing 208 pounds. He was a slick, talented boxer, and I tried to walk him down, use my size and power, but he was just outboxing me.
Yes, so the description does sound very similar to his next opponent, doesn't it? But it's fair to say one who also possesses much more ability than Cunningham. Even more slickness, more IQ, and certainly more skill. When things weren't going his way in the Cunningham fight, he even got desperate and was deducted a point. Frustration had set in, something that Usyk is renowned for doing himself, famously frustrating the tits off of Bellew and Joshua. Now okay, Fury got the win in the end, a little bit controversially I may add, but still he won by drastically changing his tactics.
So I got up and I just went straight forward at him, and I thought, no more boxing now. Round 7 I felt him going weak, because I was just pushing him back, and he's hitting me gloves and hitting me face and hitting me everywhere basically. but I walked right through everything.
Yes, so those who do believe Fury beats Usyk have always said that this is exactly the tactics they think the Gypsy King will use to pull off the victory in the Undisputed, by using his size, his strength, leaning all over him and simply overpowering him. But we do have to ask the question, is this the same fighter we see today? In many ways Fury is of course a better fighter now, but at the time of the Cunningham fight he was much younger, much more nimble on his feet and most probably had a better gas tank. On the basis that he doesn't get the knockout, if he needs to overpower Usyk by putting it on him for 12 rounds, will he be able to do it for the entirety of the fight? And if Usyk comes in like he did in the first AJ fight, moving about all over the place like a sprinter's nutsack, will Fury have the nimbleness and the energy to follow him around, to position himself correctly in order to lean on him and batter him? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But yes, the Cunningham fight leads us on nicely to another problem, yet another night where it also was not so smooth sailing and he found himself on the canvas once again. Yes, the Ngannou fight. So Fury bowled into this event on top of the world. He said, my Netflix show is #1, it's been watched by 400 billion people, I've completed boxing, so I'm fighting John Jones in a cage, terrific. Then he got on stage looking like a Big Mac, somehow his arse had managed to grow another arse on top of it, bloody hell. Yes, it was all a bit lackadaisical, obviously not taking the match up too seriously, and to be fair, we all thought he didn't need to anyway. Now he may have actually trained hard after this presser, he may not have done, we simply don't know. But regardless, the end result was a bit of a shit show. We take nothing away from Ngannou, he done blinding, but you know, for a heavyweight as experienced and skillful as Tyson, to win the fight by merely a point or two is just not a very good look. And we can't help but ask the question, does it have any bearance on the Usyk fight? I mean, surely it's got to have a little bit. Now we know he'll be a different animal in this fight, but in a nutshell, the timing was off, the footwork was lacking, and the gas tank was nowhere near what it used to be. It may just be an off night, but it may be more than that. Either way, that fateful night cannot help but have an effect on things like his confidence, having been dropped and then marginally beaten a debutant boxer, when now he's going up against a boxing genius. It definitely affected his ego, and you could see that on his face after the fight. And you know, will it have any more effects? Does he go into the Usyk fight thinking he needs to get everyone back on his side? Does he now fight on emotion? I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I've got fuck all else to do. But you know what I mean, no fighter is the same after a loss. He didn't lose, but to him it would have felt like a loss. And then we've got the penultimate problem, the history of opponents. So in the last few years or so, having knocked out Wilder twice in 3 fights, he went on to respectively defend his title against Dillian Whyte. But then we had Chisora 3. Fuck me. I'm still struggling with that one. Do you know what? That fight, when it was announced, it was the equivalent of buying a Kinder Egg, but you open it up and it's got a fucking shit nugget in it. Do you know what I mean? How it sold out Tottenham, I'm bollocked if I know. But anyway, and then we had Ngannou. Now the stature, the speed and the fighting style of Whyte and Chisora are very similar, and many would agree they are both tailor-made for Fury. Wilder has a bullet in his right hand but no boxing skill, and Ngannou is just Ngannou innit? A bit of a lump and a bit of boxing skill. The point is, all 4 of them are a million miles away from the likes of Usyk in terms of style. They may hit harder and possibly be a lot more dangerous, but ultimately they can't do what Usyk can do. And if we search through the Fury archive, outside of Steve Cunningham, hardly anyone he's fought has been as skilled, as clever and as elusive. They're mostly stocky, they're constantly looking for the knockout, and more often than not they don't have the best gas tanks. All in all, it's new territory. New territory for Usyk as well, don't get me wrong, but it's a style that Fury won't be able to work out straight away like he's used to doing. A style with movement he's bound to be unfamiliar with, and crucially one that he cannot have an off night with and still win like he's done in the past. He'll need to be 100% toss, which leads me on to the final problem, living the life. So yeah, I think we can all agree the Ngannou fight showed us he probably did take his eye off the ball. After Dillian Whyte he supposedly retired, he chilled out for a bit, Netflix started filming, he was playing up to the camera, he was trying to make a fight with 4, he wrote a book, he went to Colombia, he got bored, then he made an easy fight with Chisora, then he fighted about with no intention to fight Usyk, then he made a fight with Ngannou thinking it was going to be easy, and yeah, you get the picture. Within all this, his weight has fluctuated, the training's been inconsistent, and all in all his head's not been fully in the game. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the end of the day, elite sportsmen need to train like elite sportsmen in order to stay elite. Now, judging by the latest picture, he's clearly been working hard, but it's fair to say he's not really been living the life of a top athlete in the past couple of years as a whole. But one man who looks like he has been living the life, is always in shape and seems to never take his eye off the ball, is Usyk. He's made his intentions clear that he's in this for greatness, and just watching him train you can see he's a man on a mission. He's never been sidetracked by the fame or financials or anything like that, it's just boxing all the way. You can bet your bumhole he will have left no stone unturned for this fight. Can the same be said for Fury? I don't know. But don't get me wrong, I could be talking complete fluff, and it turns out that Fury really is just too big for Usyk, or he's such an exceptional talent that none of these things even matter. Maybe. It's just an observation of his past couple years. On the flip side though, I would agree with those that say Usyk has never experienced a fighter like Fury. The size and his own unpredictable movement. He's certainly not to be sniffed at. And finally, some will even argue that the Dubois fight showed Usyk is potentially on the slide. Maybe it showed that his body is just way too vulnerable. An obvious target that the Gypsy King will eventually hit. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just talking shit though because I'm fucking excited to see it, ain't I? We gotta wait a bit longer, but I just can't help it. I'm trying to do the maths on it all. In a nutshell though, we'll never know the truth until they set foot in the ring. So bring it on. Yes, roll on May the 18th. Possibly, hopefully, fuck knows. Ta-ra for now anyway, bosh.